this is my girlfriend's friend, very close friend, roommate. Oh, sorry. Cut. Cut. What's going on, guys? It's your boy O2udor, aka Finesse. Pleasure to be here and Stuck in the Middle podcast. I want to say a big shout out to my brother Reflex for hosting me. A big shout out to the rest of the crew. Now, take a second, click that subscribe button, click that like button, and then anticipate my album, Close My Don't Get Fed. The album drops November 20th, alright? I need you to stream that on all platforms. Get to me in my DMs, Instagram, all the other social media platforms, and tell me what you think about it. Love, it's Finesse. Wow.
It don't mean it don't mean that I'm in love. I still wanna lay around with you all day.
Yo, it's Stuck in the Middle podcast. You are locked in. I am your host, Reflex. This is a platform for entrepreneurs, innovators, creatives. We got a creative in the building today, but first, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, the bell notification so you get updates every time we drop something new. It's not every time that we get to sit on this couch, or I get to sit on this couch. Shout out to Sir Charles and the Couch Talk. But when we got a special guest in the building, man, he got some carrots in the mouth. He's an incredible dude, incredible artist, Cameroon/Nigerian, born and based in the United States in New York. O2udor in the building, yo. Welcome, bro.
How you doing, brother?
You good?
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
It's been a minute, man.
Yeah, it's
like this is a long time coming. The album about to drop next week, but I want to start from the beginning. Like I like to start from the beginning.
Okay.
Minnesota days.
Minnesota, we're going all the way there.
All the way to Minnesota. Like how when you left the Cameroon to Minnesota, how did that happen?
Oh, actually, I left China.
China.
Yeah, so I left Cameroon. I lived in China for like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from China I came to America. So it was just one of those options that I had because my brother my uncle, but we're like pretty much the same age group, so I call him brother. But yeah, he lives in Minnesota, and I just came to the States, and then I had to go start over there.
Yeah.
So I moved in with him. He had some roommates. We stayed there together for a little bit, but then how I found myself in the DMV, it was just about my friends.
Yeah.
Because like most of my friends, Leslie and them, we went to school together, and they were based in Maryland. So one day I just woke up, I was like,
I'm out.
Minnesota's not for me.
Yeah. It's cold out there, bro.
Yeah, so I came here. I first came to visit, so I didn't really bring all of my stuff, but I stayed with my friends for a little bit, and I preferred Maryland to Minnesota. So yeah, then he had the rest of my stuff shipped to me. So I never went back to Minnesota.
How you get the name O2udor?
O2udor. That's a family name, actually.
For real?
So that's my.
So you
real
just
name.
like changed the spelling or something?
Yeah, it's just the name actually. The number 2 is a T.
Oh, got you.
So that's
Yeah.
like, but the there's another reason behind the 2. It's not just you probably ask why the number 2, right? So it's a family name, but my grandfather gave me his exact names. So he has O2udor 2 times in his names. So he has O2udor at the end, O2udor at the beginning, and he gave me the same names too. So because I have 2 O2udors in my name, that's why the 2 comes into the name. Yeah, so that's pretty much what that is about. Bro,
listen, you're like one of the fastest rising Cameroonian / Nigerian Afro artists in the DMV. And out of the DMV as well, the United States. How would you say like you got your start though? Like taking it all the way back, how did you get your start in the music, industry, music business?
If I'm being honest, man, like it started way back, but I didn't realize music is something that I wanted to do. I mean, growing up in Cameroon, we didn't really have like access to the internet,
right.
So we had to like when we listened to artists back in the day, we used to try to like mimic the lyrics and try to write them. Like we had like little songbooks.
You know what I'm saying? Write them joints out. Yeah.
So I have one of my friends. He's a lawyer now, but back in the day, he was way better than me. He was better at rapping and things like that. So we had this thing. I had this love for 50 Cent back in the day. So I would write a lot of 50 Cent songs and Eminem too. But we were writing what we wrote was completely different from what they were saying.
Oh, man. Yeah. We have Genius or another them lyric platform. Yeah.
Going down the line, they started bringing books like The Mat. I don't know if you know what they call The Mat. It was like a song. It was like a lyric book. So we had the Samba Sanjin magazine, and from time to time they're gonna put lyrics of maybe one song that's a hit or two songs, and then the mat finally came. The mat, it was like a songbook. You had like lyrics to different artists. A number of artists on there. But prior to that, we used to try to like write the lyrics ourselves. And man, if you see those books, what 50 Cent and them were saying is completely different from what we're saying. But it started like that, and then performing in school and stuff. Like during socials, and then we realized that, the attention, we were getting the attention, we, would be the cool kids, the ones that could rap and things like that. That's how the whole thing started. But like I said, I never really thought I was going to be an artist.
Back then, like CDs used to come with like lyrics and stuff, so you used to buy the CDs to try and get the lyrics. It was like, what was the influence like? Was there like mom and pops playing any music in the house? Like who were you getting influence? Was it 50 Cent or? If
I have to be honest, we just had access to music like every other home. Like on Saturdays we had clip box, I think. So yeah, so we just had access to music like everybody. It was never really like a thing for my mom or my, because I was raised by my grandfather. So it was never really that. We just had access to music like that. But then going down the line, I traveled to Nigeria. I lived in Nigeria. I went to junior secondary 1 and 2 in Nigeria. And I have one of my friends, well, we're not that close anymore. We grew apart, but he was a really good friend back in the day. His name is Orok. So he's Nigerian. So that's like the person that, started, back in the day, he gave me the name Don Digit.
Don Digit.
I don't know what that means, but, he used to rap, and he used to, at the time, he knew about music production, like Fruity Loops. I think that's what they call it. Yeah. So he had an idea of, the music, of course, it wasn't the best music, but he had an idea of making beats and stuff. So he started introducing the idea, like, you can make songs of your own and things like that. We never really took it serious, but he was just like, to be an artist, you have to brand yourself amongst your friends. You have to do some stuff. And then he started teaching me the freestyle, I mean, it wasn't the best freestyles, but I could do it better than some of my friends, and it was a cool thing to do at the time. So he influenced me a lot on that. He bought me my first 50 Cent CD, Get Rich or Die Trying. He bought that, and then he bought me the the album Wanted. I think that's the title of the album.
Classic joints.
Yeah, he bought me those 2 joints. That was a gift from Barack. So when I had that, and then we had the VCR, so from time to time I would play that, and just wanting to be cool. Yeah, I think that's where it started. And then I came back to Cameroon, and that's when I united with Yan Dollar. Because we went to the same boarding school together.
We're going to get into Yan, but you and Yan know each other for a minute.
Yeah, we went to boarding school together. So, yeah. We had a thing in well, should I save this for when you talk about Yan?
No, we're going to get into Yan, but I do want to talk about, like, your vibe, because, like, some people might see you, and, like, a lot of people that I've shown your music to, like, he gives off, like, a singer vibe, but he can rap. So, like, do you find people confuse your vibe, or, like, what exactly? Is he rap predominantly or singing predominantly?
To be honest, man, I never thought I could sing. Rap is what I always wanted to do. And like I said, it started with trying to mimic 50 Cent and The Game and things like that, in Cameroon a long time ago, and the Eminems. But, if you could rap in Cameroon, in my school, I went to government secondary school downtown at the time. If you could rap in school, it was cool, and it was like a way to get girls.
Facts.
Facts. So I really, that's one of the things that I really focused on. I never thought that I could ever hit a vocal that somebody would be like, oh, you can sing? So that wasn't until I came to America and I was in the studio with Yan. I don't know if you know the song Give Me Your Love. Yeah, so that is my first ever verse that I sang in my life. Like everything I did before that, I did some songs for my quartier. I rapped in Pidgin, because back home when you rap in English, they used to look at you like you're trying to copy.
I'm trying to copy it, something like that.
It's not original. So, well, that's a whole other story. I met Adila Dre, I met DJ Eras. Those are the people that, they make music for Cameroon. So they kind of like influenced me, like, oh, if you have to rap, try to do it in the local language that somebody that's next to you is gonna understand. It started like that.
Yeah.
And well, it was a difficult transition for me. I mean, Pidgin is like technically my first language.
Yeah.
But try to make a song make sense in that language, it was difficult for me because I learned how to rap in English. So I started doing that. And then at some point, you know, when I made the first song that I ever made, Okada, I rapped in it a little bit and people were like, it's cool. Yeah, you know, you should do more of this. And then I did the second song for Makati. I think that's like my song that has gotten the most attention. Fortunately, it's not on my YouTube anymore, but yeah, I did that and I rapped in Pidgin, all of it. And people really liked it, you know? Like at the time I had a lot of people follow me on Facebook and a lot of positive reviews. It was all Pidgin. And there was people, and Gildas, that's when Gildas knew me. He was in the States and we never met. But he was promoting it in the United States at the time, you know? And so it gave me that notion that people like the Pidgin rap. So I stuck to it, I kept on. So when I came, I went to the studio. The first time I was in the studio with Yan and he was like, you should try something on the beat. You know, I went in there, I was doing the Pidgin rap and all of that. He was like, bro, it's cool, but you know, that's not really the vibe I'm trying to bring, you know?
Yeah.
So he was like, at the time he was trying to do like, you know, the island vibes, like the beat of Give Me Your Love, kind of like Caribbean. So it was like, bro, if you try to rap in Pidgin on this, I don't think that it's
It's not
really
gonna
happen.
rap, yeah.
You know, so I tried some shit. He was just, he deleted it, taking it. So he was like, you know, you can try to sing like this. Just try it. Let's see. If it's good, we'll keep it. If it's not good, we'll delete it. You know. And I did that verse. Girl, let me make you a movie star. That.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
That joint is, yeah.
Yeah. So when I did that, I didn't really know that it was all that. You know, it sounded good to me. I was like, oh, I did that, but I didn't know people were gonna receive it like that. So when Gildas started sharing it on like, cause you know Gildas has a huge following on Snapchat. It was like hundreds of videos that came back. You know, a lot of girls made videos singing to that part of the song.
Took off.
So that's when I realized that, oh, maybe I could sing, you know. And then Yan pushed me to do more of that. I started singing more, but then it's always been people that have been there for the rap, you know. So like the last time I was on live, it was a couple people are like, I prefer when you rap. I did a poll on my Instagram too. I was like, singing O2udor or rapping O2udor is different types of people. So it's like, so when you have a group of people that prefer when you rap and you have a group of people that prefer when you sing,
That's a good thing.
you can't throw it away, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
You can't just
What's the general vibe on the album? You know, like first of all, album comes out November 20th. Crazy cover. Let's talk about the album. What's the meaning behind the title? Closed mouths don't get fed.
Okay, so I did mention that the album, we worked on it for like 3+ years, and you know the whole idea is I believe that if you're not vocal about what you really want, nobody's gonna, of course, if you're not talking, nobody's gonna listen, right? And given the way the industry is, I think that the path that we're taking, we need consistency, and we haven't been consistent. I mean, if there's people in Cameroon that don't know me or don't know anything about my music, I can't blame them because, you know, I don't put out music like that. I'm not consistent. An artist is supposed to, you know, put out music, put out stuff to, you know, tell people this is what you're doing, which is what I haven't been doing. So the idea of the album, it's really about if I don't put my music in front of people, you know, I'm not gonna make any revenue from it.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not gonna get the fame. I'm not gonna get any. I'm not gonna be able to sell music. So that's just one of the meanings. So try to relate that to, if you don't talk, you know, you're not gonna be heard. You're not gonna make any revenue. So you're not gonna be feeding off your music. So that's,
you don't
like,
really get a lot of artists that's like, you know, introspective like that, you know, looking at themselves like, yo, this is what I'm about, this is what I'm doing, this is what I ain't, you know, need to improve on. That's dope. That's dope. Why did it take 3 years though? Like, this show's been a minute in the making. Why 3 years? Usually people are like, you know, fans waiting and like, yeah, I'm, you know, but
no, honestly, this is an OMG problem. You know, like this album was produced by OMG. I think
shout out to OMG, shout out to Yanda, the whole OMG.
Shout out to Yanda Lamastien.
Yeah.
I think that it's just wanting to put out perfect songs, and there's no such thing as a perfect song. You know, I realized that now. But over time, when we were working on these songs, it's been like, I think Yan has moved to 3 different apartments in the process. And when we started off, it was like, oh, let's make this 2 songs and put out a single, you know, put out an EP, let's do this 2-3 songs, put out an EP. That was like the view that we had at the time. But when we make these songs, we go back and we listen to it, you know, Shasko, my manager, is just the worst. Because every time it's like, oh, boy, you sure that song they find so, you know, like today, like when we're in the studio, we make the song, it's gonna be like, yo, that shit is banging, this is the one. And then he drives home and listens to it, it's like, he calls me up tomorrow, it's like, boy, I'm not sure
I
that
ain't
song,
feeling
it.
it.
You know, like, you know, so a lot of that has happened, and a lot of songs on the album, we had to remake the songs, you know, and some of the songs have more than one version. There's some songs that have like 3-4 versions, and then it becomes a problem picking which one is going to be on the album. But the main reason why we had to take this long is just that fear of putting out whack music. You know, we just never really got to the point where it was like, okay, this is good enough, let's put it out. But then again, you come to realize that you are the artist and you have an audience, right? They decide what song is a good song. Because if it's according to me, okay, this is a whack song, but then somebody might listen to it and be like, oh, this is the song. I like the song, you know what I mean? So you would never really know because you're not the judge. You have to make the song and then the audience has to receive it. How they receive it is going to help you, you know, guide you on the next move, you know, the next project. So when I came to that realization, I was like, okay, well, working in the background is good, but the audience want to see the work that you're working on, you know, like what is the project? What song did you make? How does it sound like? Are you current? Are you, you know, you have your own vibe? Are you trending? What is it? You know?
Yeah, is that a reason why because this joint is a legit full-length 16-15 song project, because a lot of people now dropping, you know, EPs 3, 4, 5 songs. Is that a reason why I was like, listen, I'm gonna just put a whole full-length LP out, the album out there, not the EP?
If I'm being honest, the number of tracks on this album, a lot of people influenced that. Atcher is one of them. Master Yen is one of them. Shasko is one of them. Belgioli is one of the. AK is one of them. I mean, a lot of people influenced the number of tracks on the album because when I started off, it was supposed to be like, I was supposed to put out an EP. You know, it was going to be 7 tracks. And then when I started with that, then I realized that there's some songs that have the Jamaican flair to it, like the patois. There's some songs that have a little French in it. There's songs that have a lot of singing in it. So I try to like categorize the songs, you know, like let's give them a little of the patois, the Caribbean flair to it. And then let's give the pidgin rap and, you know, because, you know, like you said, I'm half and half. You know, I'm half Nigerian, half Cameroonian. So we try to like get that balance. Yeah, it's like Afro-fusion songs on there with like R&B and rap influences, patois, Jamaican influences on the different songs. So when we realized that it's different categories, we decided to like, you know, if we have this number of Jamaican songs, we're gonna put it out and see what people think about it. We have this number of Afrobeat songs, we're gonna put it and see what, and just like that. That's how we just kept on adding and adding, and then we came to, it was more than that, but we have 15 now.
Yeah, whole team behind you. Speaking of team, you got Yan Dollar producing the whole track. How did that, you know, collaboration come about, you and Yan Dollar, and like, just talk about that relationship, man, producer-artist relationship and friendship.
Yeah, actually, in the United States now, I think Yan is my oldest friend, because we went to boarding school together. I mean, for the people that I'm still friends with. Yeah, so we went to boarding school together, and he was in the arts class. I did science. So I was in the science class. So we had a couple artists, you know, we had a couple students that made music or like loved music. They could rap, they could freestyle too. So we had this thing that we called the West Side, East Side. I wish Yan was here. But, you know, sometimes during preps, you know, we'll come together and we hit the desk and try to like, you know, see who's cooler, who can spit bars better. So it was a thing that I used to do. I used to memorize a lot of the game tracks, you know. And Yan could really spit back in the day. So that's like how I could go against Yan. So our friendship started off with being on either opposite sides. So I kind of like hated his guts because he was the only person that could like outshine me. And he low-key hated me too. But then, you know, we started like that, and then we came to realize that, I mean, it's more than that. Back in the dormitory, we're cool. So that's how our friendship started off. And yeah, after that, I think because I went to PSS, I think, 1 year. After that, I went to Baptiste, so he stayed and graduated. I didn't really get to see him. Oh, also, we had, his grandma lived in a neighborhood that was like really close to mine. So like out of school, we still got to see each other. But he was from Yaoundé, I think, and I was based in Bamenda. That's where I was raised. So I would see him sometime when he comes over, but that was about it. And then he traveled to Germany. I never got to see him. So when I came to the States, then I found him in the States. So it's like
The link up.
Yeah, so I mean that history, the fact that we
There's
both had a
friendship
passion
there.
for music, and well, he came to the United States as a completely different person. Prior to that, I used to see his songs on the internet. He went far ahead of everybody. Did shows, did quality videos and things like that, stuff that we never had access to. So when I looked at him, I was looking at him up there. So when I came to the States, he had his own studio. Everything at the time at his mom's basement. So everything was good. We just continued our friendship from there. I mean, we didn't really talk much for that gap, mind you. But, I would comment on his videos. I saw him as the superstar. So when we linked up and then, pretty much what I explained earlier, he aided me with like singing. Like I said, singing was never a thing for me. I never thought I could. And yeah, we started like that, made all these songs together. Mind you, I was on 5 tracks on Yan's album.
Yeah.
The Mega.
5 banging joints. Who's on Close Mouths Don't Get Fed? I know Yan is on it for one. I know that for sure. Who else can people expect to be on it?
We have Yago. Actually, the first track that's after the intro is with Yago. It's a fun joint that we just did, and it became bigger than a fun thing, because it started like we were just gonna play around with it. But a lot of people that listened to the song liked the song, so we made it number 1 or number 2. We have Yago, we have Theo. Theo and his bars. Yeah. There's this joint that we did, and he outshined everybody on it. I was like, no, this has to be here. We have Kadeze, we have Louis V. Who else? We have Dara Boy. Yeah, Dara. Dara came crazy on 2 amazing tracks, Threesome and the other one, Batman. So yeah, I think that's everybody we have on the album. Am I correct, Achiri?
I think that's. I want to know how the Kadeze song came about. Shout out to Kadeze. Shout out to everybody in the project.
Shout out Kadeze.
But I was talking to mine. She said Fat Joe actually reached. This is something I didn't know. Fat Joe reached out. How did that come about? Joey Crack.
I was surprised too. Well, that's when I dropped my single, Better. So, Better is like a Western vibe, completely. Plain English, no pidgin English, none of that. No Afrobeat. So when I did that joint, at the time, my girl, she had a roommate that worked for Republic at the time, and she worked as a PR agent. So she really liked that joint, and she was like, well, I think that we have to package it in a certain way, and we have to show more people. It's not all about you putting it on YouTube and posting on your social media. Let's try to let's reach out to people. You never know. So we drafted this message, put in my YouTube links, put in my Spotify links. We just put it all in there, and then we would just send it out to like celebrities, send it out to like other people too, to check it out. Facebook, Instagram. Because she lived, at the time I had a different name on Facebook, different name on Twitter. I didn't really know the importance. So she helped me like, all right, claim my names on all platforms, my stage name.
Branding and everything.
Yeah, she helped me with the branding and everything. So when we did that, we drafted this message, and we put in all the links in there. And we just, send it out to like different people on like the DMs, So we did that joint, I think like 2-3 months, and I forgot that I even did that, So one day I'm sitting, I just, because I turned up my notifications on my Instagram, because all the likes, all that stuff be popping up on the screen. So it's just, so I turned it off. So I only get to see notifications on Instagram when I go to Instagram. So I went to my Instagram, and I was just going through my messages, my DMs, and then I saw a blue check, and the name Fat Joe. So I was like, when I first of all saw it, the only thing that made me believe it was him was the tick.
The check,
so I clicked on it, and then I saw his profile and everything. Then that was when I went back to read the message, because when I first of all saw it, I thought it was just one of those spam. But the tick, I went there, I saw it was Fat Joe, and then I came back, and then I think he said something about, "Yo, King, I see you grinding," something like that. I still have the messages, so I don't know if you want to see them. But yeah, but when
that's like, you know, you need that, you know, that OG, you know, like, yo, I see this.
Like,
that's encouraging.
He was talking about, and then he said that joint fire. So I went back and I looked, because we sent a number of links. I didn't know what joint he was talking about. We sent a number of links in there, and then I replied to him. I was like, you know, I'm really humbled, you know, to read a message from you. It's really you. You know, and then that's when he told me he was talking about the joint Better. And then we talked about other things. You know, he wanted to like host a mixtape for me, you know, but I guess we just didn't conclude on that because I had this Afro-fusion direction that I was trying to go and all of that, but that is still open. You know, hopefully down the line. But yeah, it was incredible.
Man, listen, the project coming out next Friday. Closed Mouths Don't Get Fed. It's gonna be on all streaming platforms.
Exactly.
What are your plans for? Is it like, you know, public listening party, or, you know, what are your plans for as far as for people to, you know, get a different experience than just going streaming it? Yeah,
we was gonna do a listening party, but I was talking to DJ Claude. I saw you had him.
Shout out to Claude. Yeah,
shout out to Claude. So I was talking to him, and because that's one of the DJs that, you know, I'm cool with. And that's just because, you know, he's pretty transparent with me. You know, he's one of the people that plays my songs when I'm not there. You know, not hypocritical. Yeah, so I talk to him on a daily basis. You know, well, not on a daily basis. I talk to him from time to time. I have his number. So I talked to him about this project because, you know, in the DMV, we don't have that much presence. You know, if we're being honest, it's a lot of, you know, Nigerian music, a lot of, so trying to introduce Cameroon music is like, it's something that you have to go through the DJs.
Right.
Because they're the ones that get the spins, right? So I was just talking to him about this project. I introduced it to him, like, you know, I have Afro-fusion songs on it. You know, I have songs that Cameroonians can relate to it. I have songs that Nigerians can relate to it. I have songs for everybody. But the thing is, how are we gonna put the songs to the people? You know, the different songs to the people. You can, of course, I know that if you like a song, you're gonna spin it regardless. But the goal is to, like, you know, try to get your other friends to play the music as well. And not only play it because we're there drinking, or, you know, play because if they like it, and then they can add it to their spin, right? So I was having that conversation with him, and then when we talked about it, he was like, he doesn't really think I should do a listening party. You know, he suggested to me that I should put out the songs, do the playlisting, try to get the songs on playlists, try to, you know, promote the songs the best I can. You know, have the whole team work on it, OMG, everybody do their part, and let it circulate for like a month, you know, so we can get a reaction of how people actually feel about the album. You know, because that's something that you cannot lie about. If people actually like the album, you'll be able to tell from the numbers and, you know, the sharing and everything. And then he told me, as opposed to doing a listening party, we should do an unplugged session. You know, so get people together, people that already had a chance to listen to the music, you know, and actually have them present and vibe to it and have me perform the songs. So that's how we took out the listening party.
Yeah, I mess with that. Shout out to Claude, man. He got the brains. He got the brains. What's your plan on bringing, you know what I'm saying, like O2udor to Cameroon? If that's at all your plans, like bringing the sound and movement back home to Cameroon and, like, you know, expanding the horizon, or even Africa, back home, East Africa, all that.
You know me, man. I love my countries. I love Africa, man. It's being in the States is temporary for me, if I'm being honest. Of course, I like the States, but, you know, it's really about the people. You know, I have a voice now, and at least there's a couple people that listen to me. So the goal is to actually go back and be there and see the problems, you know, real time. You know, and see how I can contribute to that through my music. You know, so the goal is to go back, but I mean, of course, I don't have a date to go back to Cameroon or to Nigeria, but it is a plan. It's something that I would want to do in the future. I want to go back, and I'm comfortable home. I like the food. I like
the weather. You know, everything is straight back home. Yeah.
So the plan is to go back, but it's not for right now. I think that I don't have to be home to impact home as of now. I think that I want to establish myself and really understand the music industry internationally. That way, when I go back home, I should be able to assist other people that, you know, never had a chance to travel out of the country, and, you know, show them what networking is all about and how they could because I know a lot of great artists in Cameroon, but there's a lot of opportunities that they don't have access to. They never traveled. They don't make the revenue that they should be making from their music, because it's all locked up in Cameroon. Yeah.
Speaking of that, man, not only are you an incredible artist, but you also, passionate about activism. I saw you down in DC, the demonstration for Black immigrants. Just talk about that, where that passion came from and what y'all was trying to do down there.
Yeah, man. It's really like there's just so much that one person can do. It's a problem that's affecting 20-30 million people.
Facts, yeah.
And it's very limited number of artists. It's not a lot of voices that we have, and the country that we're from. It's Cameroon specifically. It's like, not only Cameroon, actually Nigeria too. You cannot just speak up if you're based in the country. It's one of those things that people are scared for their lives. They cannot just talk about that. So me being out here, I have that protective, how can I call it? I have some degree of protection. You know what I mean? Of course, nobody knows what's gonna happen tomorrow, but of course, it's not Cameroon where you could be driving or you could be home and they literally walk into your home and take you and lock you up and stuff. So my friend Dante, he used to be the president of O2udor, like the student government in UB. So he's a good activist too. He's like somebody that's really passionate about making sure that the right things are done, people are not abused by the government. So he introduced the idea to me. He was telling me about how Cameroonians are getting repatriated. I saw some stuff on social media, and it's like Cameroon is going through a crisis that the government doesn't accept that this is what is going on. So not sure if America knows 100% that this is what Cameroonians are going through. It's people that have been displaced from home. It's people that are in different countries, and they don't have food to eat. They don't have any. They don't have refuge. You know what I mean? And some of them find their way to America. Looking at the situation, it's a number of Ethiopians that, because of the crisis in their country, they have residency in America. It's a number of Somalians. It's other countries, Haitians. But unfortunately, Cameroon does not have that in the United States. Cameroonians come here, they risk deportation. Despite the fact that when they go back home, it's risky for them. So that's one of the things that really touched me. And when we talked about it, I was like, of course, man, I'm in New York, a couple hours drive, I'll be here. And if me being there and using my platform to, call for attention or tell people what is actually happening, of course, what's the point if you have a platform, if you can't talk about what your people are suffering or what your people are going through. That's how it started. And then I came, did that. It was great. I'm hoping that there's a change that comes from that. But even if nothing happens, at least we can say we did that.
Facts. And I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming through here as well, man.
Thank you for
camera's right there, man.
man.
Listen, it's been a long time coming. The project, I'm looking forward to it. We just played a couple joints here in the studio. Loving it.
Appreciate that.
Close Mouths Don't Get Fed, dropping November 20th. O2udor and Stuck in Middle Podcast. Let the people know how they can find you, get the project, all that good stuff, bro.
Okay. As my good man here, Reflex, said, I go by the name of O2udor. That's O2udor on all platforms. The goal is to get the song on all major platforms. That's Spotify, Deezer, all of them. The team is working on that, and hopefully midnight, I think Friday the 19th. It should be available on all platforms. I know I'm not famous. I'm not Davido. I'm not Whiskey and them, but then
you are.
I ask you guys to try.
Yeah, he is.
You are.
He humble out here.
You are.
Please, when you get a chance, just listen. I want to know what you guys think about it. Drop a comment. Send me a DM. I always reply, and I try to follow back as much as I can. Hit me up anytime. Let me know what you think about the songs, man. The reason we make this music is for you guys to consume. And if you consume the music and you like what you consumed, or you don't like it for some reason, that's going to help us with the next project. And if we don't know that information, we cannot make it better for you. So I appreciate everybody that's been showing love. Big shout out to the OMG team for making this possible. Thank you, Reflex, for having me.
Yeah, man, for sure, bro.
And yeah, love to you guys, man. Love.
Yes, sir. O2udor in the building. Shout out to Sir Charles in the building. Achiri, Alex, aka in the building. I'm your host, Flex, man. This is SitM Podcast. Stream the album November 20th. AK, it's on you, bruh. We out.
Da-da-dang.
That was dope, man. I was talking to Ma before we got on live, and she was like, I didn't know, this is information I didn't know. You actually got reached out to by Fat Joe.
Oh.
how the heck did that come about?
That part.
Yep.
Well, so when I released my single Better,
Yeah, I remember.
because you know Better is like it's more of a Western vibe. You know, it's all rap English, no pidgin English, none of that. So when I did that joint, I was working with this girl at the time. Her name is Sabria. She used to work for I think Republic as a PR agent, something like that.
Yeah.
So when this is my girlfriend's friend, very close friend, roommate. Oh, sorry. Cut. cut.
Oh, that's funny.
This behind the scenes have to be posted.
Oh, that's funny as
Actually,
well.
we're supposed to have that little table here for us. Actually,
Let me get,
so we can put
let me
our
get some
drinks.
tissue. In that joint.
Actually,
You didn't stop you, right?
I ain't stopping. no.
Yeah, just keep.
I'm stopping for. Just gotta make it.
yeah, that's
Nah, I got
close.
you, I got
Then
you.
got the.
Yeah, I got you.
You take this cup and we could refill it.
Nah, I'm good.
You good?
I ain't playing with that joint no more.
Actually,
just gonna keep going.
is there another table like that? Some.
Nah,
Or you want to
Nah.
maintain the scene? Let's just
Yeah,
maintain
let's
the
just
scene.
maintain
as
the
it was.
scene,
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna ask the question again.
that's all right.
Should I ask the question again? Or you just want to keep going?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Ask it again. Ask it again because you cut that part out.
All right.
That blooper is gonna be at the end.
Yeah.